Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ekonavimshe Vimashatime Vishnishu Prapya Janmani Rama Krishna Viti Bhuvo Bhagavan Aharad Bharam.
Hare Krishna. In the 19th and the 28th incarnations, the Lord advented himself as Lord Balarama and Lord Krishna in the family of Vrishni, the Yadu dynasty, and by so doing, he removed the burden of the world.
Text 24. Tataha kalau sampravritte samohaya suradvisham bhudo namnam jana sutaha kikateshu vivishyati.
Mataji, can you scroll down, please? Then in the beginning of Kali Yuga, the Lord will appear as Lord Buddha, the son of Anjana, in the province of Gaya, just for the purpose of deluding those who are envious of the faithful taste.
Text 25. Athasau yuga sandhyayam dasruparyeshu rajasu janita vishnu yashaso namna kalkir jagatpati.
Thereafter, at the conjunction of 2 yugas, the Lord of the creation will take his birth as the Kalki incarnation and become the son of Vishnu Yasa. At this time, almost all the rulers of the earth will have degenerated into plunderers.
Mata, will you move it up and then, okay. Thanks. Text 26. Avatarhiya sankheya harehe sattva nide dvijaha yatha vida sinha kuleya sarasasyu sahasrashaha.
O Brahmanas, the incarnation of the Lord are innumerable, like rivulets flowing from inexhaustible sources of water.
Text 27. Rishayo manavo deva manuputra mahaujasaha kalaha sarve harereva saprajapatyaha smritaha.
All the Rishis, Manus, demigods, and descendants of Manu, who are especially powerful, are plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. This also includes the Prajapatis.
Text 28. Ete kamsa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Middayanti Yuge Yuge.
All of the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the theists.
Text 29. Janma Yugam Bhagavato Ya Etet Prayato Naraha Sayam Pratir Ganan Bhaktya Dukha Gramad Vimuchyate.
Whoever carefully recites the mysterious appearances of the Lord with devotion in the morning and in the evening gets relief from all miseries of life.
Text 30. Etadrupam bhagavato hiyarupasya chidatmanah maya gunir virachitam mahadadibhir atmani.
The conception of the Virat universal form of the Lord as appearing in the material world is imaginary. It is to enable the less intelligent and neophytes to adjust to the idea of the Lord's having form. But factually, the Lord has no material form.
Text 31. Yatha nabhasi meghogho renurva prathivo nile evam drashtari drishyatvam aropitam abhudibhi.
Clouds and dust are carried by air, but less intelligent persons says that the sky is cloudy and the air is dirty. Similarly, they also implant material bodily conceptions on the spirit self.
Text 32. Atha param yad avyaktam avyudha guna brimhitam adrashashruta vastudvat sajivo yat punir bhavaha.
Beyond this gross conception of form is another subtle conception of form, which is without formal shape and is unseen, unheard, and unmanifest. The living being has his form beyond this subtlety, otherwise, he couldn't have repeated births.
Text 33. Yatre me sada sadrupe pratishide savasma samvida avidyatmani avidyayatmani krite iti tad brahma darshanam.
Whenever a person experiences by self-realization that both the gross and subtle bodies have nothing to do with the pure self, at that time he sees himself as well as the Lord.
Text 34. Yadi ish. Sorry, Mataji, I don't quite know when you're going to move it. If maybe I will wait after each verse and then you can move it, and then it will be easier. Text 34. Yadi esho parata devi maya veshrada veshradi matihi sampana evati vidur mahamni sve mahiyate.
If the illusory energy subsides and the living entity becomes fully enriched with knowledge by the grace of the Lord, then he becomes at once enlightened with self-realization and thus becomes situated in his own glory.
Text 35. Evam janmani karmani heya kartur ajjanasya cha varnayanti smakavayo veda guyani hritpatahe.
Thus, learned men describe the birth and activities of the unborn and inactive, which is undiscoverable even in the Vedic literatures. He is the Lord of the heart.
Savada idam vishamamo galila srijyate bhatti atina sajate samin bhute chesi chantrita atma tantraha sadvargikam jigrati sadguni saha.
The Lord, whose activities are always spotless, in the master of the six senses, and is fully omnipotent with six opulences. He creates the manifested universes, maintains them, and annihilates them without being in the least affected. He is within every living being and is always independent.
Text 37. Nachasya chakshin nipunena datur aveti jantu kamanisha utihi namani rupani manuvachobhi santan vato nata charyam ivanjna.
The foolish, with a poor fund of knowledge, cannot know the transcendental nature of the forms, names, and activities of the Lord, who is playing like an actor in a drama. Nor can they express such things, neither in their speculations nor in their words.
Text 38. Saveda dhatu pavdavim parasya duranta virasya rathanga panahe yo mayaya samtata narvitya bhaje tatpada sarojagandam.
Only those who render unreserved, uninterrupted, favorable service unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who carries the wheel of the chariot in his hand, can know the creator of the universe in his full glory, power, and transcendence.
Text 39. Atetadanya bhagavanta itam yadva sudev kila loka nathe kurvanti sarvatmakamatma bhavam nayatra bhuya parivarta ugraha.
Only by making such inquiries in this world can one be successful and perfectly cognizant. For such inquiries invoke such transcendental ecstatic love unto the personality of Godhead, who is the proprietor of all the universes, and guarantee 100% immunity from the dreadful repetition of birth and death.
Text 40. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Sloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishresha Saya Lokasya Dhanyam Savasti Ayanam Mahat.
This Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of God, and it is compiled by Srila Vesdeva, the incarnation of God. It is meant for the ultimate good for all people, and it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect.
Text 41. Tadidam grahayam asha sutam atma vatambaram sarva vedita asanam saram saram samudritam.
Srila Vasudeva delivered it to his son, who is the most respected among the self-realized. After extracting the cream of all Vedic literatures and histories of the universe.
Text 42. Satu shamsaravayamasa maharajam parikshitam prayopavistam gangayam paritam paramasbihi.
Sukadeva Goswami, the son of Vasudeva, in his turn delivered the Bhagavatam to the great Emperor Parikshit, who sat surrounded by sages on the bank of the Ganges, awaiting death without taking food or drink.
Text 43. Krishna svadamopagate dharma jnana dabhi saha kalau nastadrishyam esha puranarko dhunoditaha.
This Bhagavata Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana.
Text 44. Tatra kitayato vipra viprashir bhuri tejasaha aham chadyagamam tatra nivishtashtad anugharat soham vahashravasyami yathaditam yathamati.
O learned Brahmanas, when Sukadeva Goswami recited Bhagavatam there in the presence of Emperor Pariksit, I heard him with rapt attention, and thus by his mercy I learned the Bhagavatam from that great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned from him and as I have realized it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Geeta Mataji and Venkat Prabhu. Very nicely recited. So today's verse is a very beautiful verse, which we are going to be discussing now. And it's from the first canto, third chapter, 29th verse. Janma guhyam bhagavato ya etat prayato nara sayam pratarganam bhaktya dukha gramat vimuchyate. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Whoever carefully recites the mysterious appearance of the Lord with devotion in the morning and in the evening gets relief from all miseries of life. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead has declared that anyone who knows the principles of the transcendental birth and activities of the Lord will go back to Godhead after being relieved from this material tabernacle. So simply knowing factually the mysterious way of the Lord's incarnation in this material world can liberate one from the material bondage. Therefore, the birth and activities of the Lord as manifested by Him for the welfare of the people in general are not ordinary. They are mysterious, and only by those who carefully try to go deep into the matter by spiritual devotion is the mystery discovered. Thus one gets liberation from material bondage. It is advised, therefore, that one who simply recites this chapter of Bhagavatam, describing the appearance of the Lord in different incarnations, in sincerity and devotion, can have insight into the birth and activities of the Lord. The very word vimukti or liberation indicates that the Lord's birth and activities are all transcendental. Otherwise, simply by reciting them, one could not attain liberation. They are therefore mysterious, and those who do not follow the prescribed regulations of devotion service are not entitled to enter into the mysteries of the births and of his births and activities. So before we begin today's session, I'd like to seek the blessings of our previous acharyas. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavanamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Savadutam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyat Desha Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauradvise Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Once again, translation. Whoever carefully recites the mysterious appearances of the Lord with devotion in the morning and in the evening gets relief from all miseries of life. The same is said about the Dasavatar Sutra sung by Srila Jayadev Goswami. So today we are going to begin our session with the recitation of the Dasavatar Sutra because it is so appropriate to the particular verse and the purport and the series of verses we have been listening about these wonderful incarnations of the Lord. So I have kindly requested my daughter and my wife and my son, Vindarika Ramya, to join in. And if they can set the scene by singing this beautiful verse, Dasavatar Stotra, and then we can look at some key points of Prabhupada's purport and discuss those. So let's make a start. Bear with me 1 second so I can share my screen with you all. With the Dasavatar Stotra. Here we are. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Okay, so if everybody can stay mute, please. Thank you so much. Over to you, Vindarika Ramya. I think we'll just sing the Dasavatar Stotra. We'll see, depending on the time. At the end, we could do the translation, but let's begin with the singing of the song so we can repeat behind the muted mics.
प्रलयपयोधि जने द्विषभानसुवेदा विहितमहीन्द्रचरित्रमखेद केशवगीता नीलशरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश क्षितिरिह विपुलतरे तिष्ठति तव पृष्ठे धरणी धरणकिल चक्रगरिष्ठे केशवजीता शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे वसति दशन शिखरे धरणी तव नाना शशिनिकलङ्ककलेवरुमग्न केशवजीता शूकररूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमल वरे अद्भुत श्रृंग जलिता हिरण्यकशिपुर्धनुवृंग केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे चलयसि विक्रमणे बलिमाद्भुतवामन पदनखनिरजनिता जनपालन केशवधृता वामन रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे क्षत्रिय रुधिरमये जगदपगत पाप सपयसि पयसि समित भवताप केशवजीता भृगुपति रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे भितरसि दिक्षुरने दिक्पति कमनीया दशमुखमौलिवरे नवनीया केशवजीता राम शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे वह शिवभूषि सदेव सनं जलदाभ हलहति भीति मिलिता यमुनाभ केशवजीता हलधररूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे लिङ्गस्याग्रविधेयः श्रुतिजातम् सदयरितय दर्शितपशुघातम् केशवजीता बुधशरीरा
I can't hear anything.
जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Nechani Vahani Dane Kalaya Shikaravala Duvake Tumivake Bhakarala Keshavajita Kalaki Sarira Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Shri Jaya Deva Kave Idamudita Budara Shri Sukadam Subhadam Bhavasara Keshavajita Vivarupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Vedanudarate Jaganti Vahate Bhukolamudbibrate Daityam Dharayate Balim Chalayate Shashayam Kurvate Polasyam Jayate Halam Kalayate Karunyamatanvate Lechan Gurchayate Rasakiti Krite Krishna Dubhyam Namah Lechan Gurchayate Rasakiti Krite Krishna Dubhyam Namah
Haribo! Sachi, can you please read the first translation and Vindarika second and Sridhan third, please?
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a fish, all glories to you. You easily acted as a boat in the form of a giant fish, just to give protection to the Vedas, which had become immersed in the turbulent sea of devastation.
Well done. Thank you, Sachi. Jai. Matsyadev ki Jai. Sridham.
Sridham. O Keshava, O Lord, Hari, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, has assumed the form of a tortoise. All glories to you. In this incarnation as a divine tortoise, the great Mandara mountain rests upon your gigantic back as a pivot for churning the ocean of milk. For holding up the huge mountain, a large scar-like depression is put in your back, which has become most glorious.
Jai. Kurmadev ki Jai. Vindarika.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a bowl. All glories to you, the earth which had become immersed in the Garbhodaka ocean at the bottom of the universe sits fixed upon the tip of your tusk like a spot upon the moon.
Jai. Varhadev ki Jai. Thank you. Jyoti Mataji, if you can read 4. Ajay Prabhu, if you can read 5. Bhagwati Mataji, if you can read 6. Bhavna Mataji, if you can read 7. And Chandra Chaitanya Prabhu 8. And Prema Vilasini Mataji 9. Jyoti Mataji, number 4, please. Okay, we'll go to the next. Who was the next? Ajay Prabhu, could you read 4 and 5 so that we don't break the pattern? Ajay Prabhu?
Yes.
Yes, 4 and 5, Prabhu. Thank you.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of half man, half lion. All glories to you. Just as one can easily crush a wasp between one's fingernails, so in the same way, the body of the wasp-like demon Hiranyakashipu has been ripped apart by the wonderful pointed nails on your beautiful lotus hands.
Jai, Narsinghadev ki jai.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a dwarf Brahmana. All glories to you, O wonderful dwarf, by your massive steps you deceive King Bali, and by the Ganges water that has emanated from the nails of your lotus feet, you deliver all living beings within this world.
Jai, Vamandev ki jai ho.
Number 6.
Thank you,
O,
Mataji.
O Kesava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Brigupati, Parshuram, all glories to you, all Kurukshetra,
At Kurukshetra, yeah.
Kurukshetra, you bathed each in the rivers of blood from the bodies of the demoniac Kshatriyas that you have slain. The sins of the world are washed away by you, and because of you, people are relieved from the blazing fire of material existence.
Jai, Pashuram ji ki jai ho. Who was next? Chandra Chaitanya Prabhu, why don't you go 7 and Mataji can go 8 if you're there?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, did you call my name? Sorry.
I did to read the verse. You can read the number 7, Mataji. Go ahead.
Yes. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who has assumed the form of Ramachandra, all glories to you. In the battle of Lanka, you destroy the 10-headed demon Ravana and distribute his heads as a delightful offering to the presiding deities of the 10 directions, headed by Indra. This action was long desired by all of them, who were much harassed by this monster.
Jai, Lord Ram, Chandra ki jai ho. Thank you. Number 8, Chandra Chaitanya Prabhu, are you there?
Yes.
Please, if you
Number
could
8.
read number 8. Yes, please, Prabhu. And then Hema Mataji, if you could do 9.
Yeah.
And Garta Mataji 10. Yes.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who assumed the form of Balram, the wielder of the plough, all glories to you. On your brilliant white body, you wear garments the color of a fresh blue rain cloud. These garments are colored like the beautiful dark hue of the river Yamuna, who feels great fear due to the striking of your plowshare.
Jai, Plowdhari, Lord Balaram ki jai. Number 9, please.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Buddha, all glories to you. O Buddha of compassionate heart, you decry the slaughtering.
You went on mute, Mataji.
According
Ek minute.
Yeah, it's fine now.
Start again.
Slaughtering the
You decry.
you decry the slaughtering of poor animals performed according to the rules of Vedic sacrifice.
Jai, Lord Buddha ki jai ho. Garta Mataji, if you can do 10 and Hema Mataji can do 11.
Krishna, O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, you have assumed the form of Kalki. O all glories to you. You appear like a comet and carry a terrifying sword for bringing about the annihilation of the wicked barbarian men at the end of the Kali Yuga.
Jai, Lord Kalki ki jai ho.
11. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed these 10 different forms of incarnation, all glories to you. O reader, please hear the theme of the poet Jaydeva, which is most excellent. An awarder of happiness, a bestower of auspiciousness, and is the best thing in this dark world.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. O Lord Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you who appear in the forms of these 10 incarnations in the form of Matsya. You rescue the Vedas, and as Kurma, you bear the mantra of Matsya on your back. If the devotees can please stay on mute, that will be great. Thank you so much. 1 second. Okay, great. As Varaha, you lift the earth with your tusk, and in the form of Narsingha, you tear open the chest of Daitya Hiranyakashipu. In the form of Vamana, you tricked the Daitya King Bali by asking him for only 3 steps of land, and then you take away the whole universe from him by expanding your steps. As Pashuram, you slay all of the wicked Kshatriyas, and as Ramachandra, you conquer the Rakshasa King Ravana. In the form of Balaram, you carry a plough with which you subdue the wicked and draw towards you the river Yamuna. As Lord Buddha, you show compassion towards all living entities suffering in this world, and at the end of the Kali Yuga, you appear as Kalki to bewilder the malicious, degraded, low-class men. Srila Jayadev Goswami Pad ki jai, Shri Dasavatar Stotram ki jai. So it is said, as rightly in this beautiful verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, anybody who recites either the Dasavatar Stotram or these particular verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam, which we have been reciting about the various incarnations, just by reciting them, our material miseries can go away. What a beautiful benediction is being offered to us by Srila Sukdev Goswami here. It's really nice. So let's just have a look. Sorry for changing the slide format because I just felt it was so appropriate. I couldn't think of any better way to begin this class but to sing Dasavatar Stotram, because this verse is actually talking about this beautiful bhajan from Jayadev Goswami. So I hope you all relished the bhajan and the translation. And let's look at the some of the key points from Prabhupada's purport now. So right at the beginning of the purport, Prabhupada is saying that in the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead has declared that anyone who knows the principle of transcendental birth and activities of the Lord will go back to Godhead after being relieved from this material tabernacle. Would somebody like to have a look at the word tabernacle? I believe it means like from moving from one place to another place. However, somebody could please kindly look up the word, where does it come from, and the exact meaning will be very helpful. And I will call out in between so we can have a context of where this word is. What does the word mean here? So here, Srila Prabhupada is quoting, obviously he's thinking of the verse, Janma Karma Chame Divyam, Evam Yo Veti Taktava, Taktava Deham Punarjanma, Neti Mameti, so Arjuna. That whoever understand my appearance and my pastimes and activities, just by understanding that them in truth, Taktava Deham Punarjanma, one does not have to take birth again in this material one. Neti Mameti, so Arjuna. Devotees, if you can all please stay on mute, let me mute everyone. So this is a very appropriate verse in this particular connection, that if you think for a moment that why does Krishna come down to this earthly planet in the human-like form and enact his pastimes? In one of the classes of Sachidanand Maharaj was explaining, actually Krishna desires to give us his attention individually because he appreciates each one of us individually, because we are all mame vamso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. We are all individual living entities who are eternally connected with Krishna, and Krishna very fondly thinks of us and he wants to reciprocate with us. And that is a very precise reason, if we were to think of a pastime where Krishna is individually reciprocating, the Brahma Vimohan Leela comes to my mind in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So much so that, like, just as this verse had begun and Sukdev Goswami had started to begin, and Parikshit Maharaj asked a counter question to Sukdev Goswami, that how did Krishna, what happened to those boys, and how did all these boys appear? And just then it is explained by our acharyas that that Sukdev Goswami actually went into trance and he was no longer able to speak. He was completely unconscious at the level of material body. He could not speak. He just had such ecstatic emotions that he could not say a word. But only when Lord Shiva, Narad Muni, and all the other various personalities who were sitting in that assembly started to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Or in other words, Lord's names and his glories. Sukdev Goswami came back to external consciousness, and he explained that because the question was so appropriate, and he started to think that how Lord is so merciful, that he, wanting to reciprocate with those close friends and the sakhas, he decided to expand, and take their swarup individually. Look at the mercy of the Lord. And thinking like this, in this way, Sukdev Goswami went into complete trance. Actually, this has been explained very beautifully by our acharyas. So here we see similarly, the point I was trying to raise is we are individuals, and the way we can connect with the Lord at an individual level is through our chanting of the holy names in the morning when we do our japa. It's a very personal, it's a very intimate time with Krishna. And the more attention we give this to our japa and the transcendental sound vibration, the more we are able to attract the attention of the Lord. And that is really what our ultimate aim is, to attract attention of Krishna, so that somehow or other we can be engaged in his service and in the service of his divine energy, which is none other than the Haladini Shakti, the manifestation of Srimati Radharani. So here, this was one point. Then we see Prabhupada writes that the birth and the activities of the Lord as manifested by him for the welfare of all the people in general are not ordinary. They are mysterious, and only by those who carefully try to go deep into the matter by spiritual devotion is the mystery discovered. So here a very nice point comes as I was preparing for this session. I was hearing a class of a Prabhuji from Chopadi, and Prabhu was explaining that how our way of operating in this world or going about in this world is to access everything through our senses, which are limited. Like we can only see so much, so far. We can only, smell so much when we are close to that object. So beyond that is a mystery, because we do not know what this, because our senses are limited. So it is, so an intelligent man can conclude that anything beyond that sense perception is out of our control and therefore mystical. So similarly, because our senses are still, unfortunately, at least I can speak for myself, are uncontaminated stage, are conditioned, we cannot experience that mystery land of Vrindavan, that beautiful mysterious land of Vrindavan, that beautiful blue boy, Lord Krishna, because we haven't reached that level of realization, that level of advancement in our Krishna consciousness. But that should be our aspiration, that should be our goal, that we should continue to harness our spiritual practices in such a way that one day we are able to come to that level and able to practice a spontaneous loving service with Krishna. And then we will be able to, this is what Prabhupada is trying to say, then we will be able to then we will be able to understand the mysterious, there are these mysterious pastimes of the Lord. And it is advised, therefore, that one who simply recites the chapter of the Bhagavatam describing the appearance of the Lord in different incarnations in sincerity and devotion can have insight into the birth and activities of the Lord. So those who just now chanted the Dasavta Sotram with sincerity and devotion, we can now hopefully carry on doing this. It is recommended, as much as you want to recite this at least once a day or whenever you have time. It's a beautiful bhajan. Or if not, you recite these verses of the Bhagavatam which are describing the beautiful pastimes of the Lord. And one thing, if you note, Prabhupada is not even telling us, he's so merciful, he's not even saying that it is advised there for those who simply realize. Prabhupada has not used the word realize. He's saying simply who recites this chapter. So you see, Prabhupada understands, where we are in our journey. So he's encouraging us to read Bhagavatam every day. He's saying recite these beautiful verses of Bhagavatam. That's why this program is so beautiful. We did chat. We finished the entire Bhagavad Gita one verse at a time. And now we are doing chat plus. One day, Krishna willing, we can also, I do not know when, how many years it will take. We are doing one verse at a time every day. But at least we have come this far now. We are on the 3rd chapter of Bhagavatam. And when it is said that Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke, that the word Nityam means to do every day, and every day means doing little bit regularly every day. So reading Srimad Bhagavatam even for few minutes every day is counted as, in one sense, it's counted as Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya at our level, and then gradually increasing that intensity as well as time which we dedicate to reading Bhagavatam. So this is Prabhupada's recommendation that we should really recite Srimad Bhagavatam as much as possible, and this particular section where Lord Krishna's pastimes are delineated. So here the very word vimukti or liberation indicates that the Lord's birth and activities are all transcendental. Otherwise, simply by reciting them, one could not attain liberation. Very nice point, right? Why do we feel joyful? Did anybody feel joyful when we were reciting Jayadev Goswami Dasavtar Stotram today? You can either say yes in your chat box, or you can just say, yeah, whatever emotions you want to express. Did you feel happy? Did you feel excited?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, great. All right. Jyoti Mataji is saying yes. Namrita Mataji is saying yes.
Yes.
Krishnangi Mataji, Yashwini Mataji, Saroj Mataji, Indira Mataji is saying yes. Venkat Prabhu is saying yes. Okay, well, Jai Shri Mataji is saying yes. And so is Sumudra Mataji and Shipra Mataji, KP Prabhu, Prabhuta Mataji. Wow. So, yeah, there you have it. As my Guru Maharaj says, there you have it. You know, that's the testimony, or that's the result of, you know, how much joyful you feel. Another analogy Prabhupada gives, that when you eat prasadam, when you're hungry, no one has to give you a certificate that you're satisfied. As you carry on eating, your hunger subsides and you feel nourishment and you feel very satisfied. Similarly, the more we read Bhagavatam, the more we hear Srimad Bhagavatam from advanced devotees and read Bhagavatam in the association of devotees, the more joyful we will feel about the process of devotional service. And then I wanted to share this particular verse which is very relevant here, of Narad Muni's life, where he's saying to Srila Vyasadeva, oh Vyasadeva, in that association, he's talking about the Vedantists, where for the 4 months of the rainy seasons, there were Vedantists who came and stopped by at the hermitage of Narad Muni and his mother when he was a mere 5-year-old, or I believe 7-year-old boy. And he engaged in their service. So he's saying, I could hear them describe the attractive activities of Lord Krishna, and thus listening attentively, my taste for hearing of the personality of Godhead increased at every step. So you see, this is not just me speaking, we have an evidence, and what better evidence than Swayam Sri Narad Muni, our favorite personality, favorite spaceman, the spiritual master of all the spiritual masters, who is giving us this testimony that what did he do? He served those Vedantists, he served those devotees, he ate their remnants, and he heard the beautiful, attractive activities of Lord Krishna. And what happened as a result of that? That all that which was in his heart, that granthi of the material knot, was pierced, and the devotional service was evoked in his heart. So this is a testimony directly given by Narad Muni to confirm that this process works. We just need to stick with the process, give ourselves as much as possible to this transcendental vibration of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then our life will be successful. So here Prabhupada concludes, men are naturally apt to hear histories and narrations of various personalities performing mundane activities without knowing that by such association one simply wastes valuable time and also becomes addicted to 3 qualities of mundane nature. Instead of wasting time, one can get spiritual success by turning his attention to the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. By hearing the narration of the pastimes of the Lord, one contacts directly the personality of Godhead, and explained before, by hearing about the personality of Godhead from within, all accumulated sins of the mundane creature are cleared. Tadvak visargo janataga viplavo. Prabhupada is trying to quote that verse that, you know, that those who are intelligent, they do not derive pleasure from the literature, you know, which is does not describe the beautiful pastimes of the Lord. They are like the places of the crow. They are not the places or the habitat of the devotees who are like swan-like, who only like to draw milk from the filthy place. So similarly, in the purport to this particular verse of Narad Muni speaking to Vyasadeva, Prabhupada is trying to give us a clear indication that rather than picking up the news, rather than picking up social media or other things which are, you see, our ears are like an ocean. You know, you can keep pouring things in them, and they're very, very deep. You know, and somehow or other, our teachers explain that this ocean-like ears have a connection with our heart. So whatever we put in our ears, it comes as an impression on our heart. So, and as it is, we have accumulated so many impressions from the past lives that it's very difficult to get rid of them. But the only way we can do them is by through the process of devotional service, by hearing and chanting, by watering the Bhakti Lata beach through the process of hearing and chanting, we can overcome those anarthas and we can uproot those anarthas. And then one day we will be able to invoke the pure devotional service in our heart. So this is some really powerful instructions we get from Srimad Bhagavatam in the form of the story of Narad Muni and many such stories which are there in Srimad Bhagavatam. So in conclusion, we chanted the Das Avtar Stotra because we heard from this particular verse that what benediction we get, we are hopefully one day will be able to get rid of the material miseries. So we did that. We meditated on the 10 main incarnations of the Lord. And then we discussed some of the key points of Prabhupada, that how by tuning into the transcendental vibration of the Bhagavatam, which describes the beautiful pastimes of the Lord, as well as the various pastimes of his pure devotees. And in conclusion, we shared the story of Narad Muni, who just by serving the Vaishnavas, serving the devotees, serving and hearing the beautiful pastimes through the submission process, he was able to perfect his life and became Narad Muni in the next life. And here Prabhupada concludes that let's not waste our time in the mundane literatures or any other things which are not helpful to our Krishna consciousness, but rather give our ears for the pleasure of hearing the pastimes of the Lord, either by reading or by hearing in the association of advanced devotees. I like to stop here. I like to apologize for going a little bit more today because we included 10-15 minutes of that beautiful Dasavta Stotram, but still leaves us 5-7 minutes for any reflections, any comments, or any questions. Or you can share how did you feel about after reciting the Dasavta Stotram. Tabernacle. Thank you so much, Ajay Prabhu, for reminding a temporary shelter. There we go. Yeah, so I was close, but not close enough. It's a temporary shelter. This material world is temporary shelter. The another name for Durga is also means, I believe it means it's difficult place to move. So, you know, what a word Prabhupada uses. It's amazing, you know, like it's not a place, it's not our natural habitat. We should really aspire for spiritual world where we are sthane sthita, we are in one place serving the Lord. And that is why, you know, we heard this, I think it's Tamal Krishna Maharaj, somebody who said this activity of book distribution is one activity which is not even available in the spiritual world, which is book distribution, because there everybody is a pure devotee. Who are you going to preach, you know? Who are you going to share Krishna consciousness there with, actually? So while we have this privilege in this world, that is why this service is particularly very dear to our acharyas. You see, all the other services you can perform in the spiritual world. So on that note, I want to share with you, on this Saturday we are having our monthly Sankirtan festival in Pinner area. If anybody would like to join, please do so. We're going to take at least few sets of Bhagavatam with us. We're going to try and present Bhagavatam on door to door to the families who are interested. If not, we will have other books of Srila Prabhupada. And you can just come to the Pinner. The flyer is on the Sankirtan Forever group. You can add your name and get involved in these live pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if any devotee who lives in the Harrow area or Pinner area like to help with prasadam, we're going to be meeting in the park. If the weather is not good, we can come to the devotee's house. Feel free to let us know. We are always looking for these opportunity when devotees go out. It's nice to be able to go to someone's house and take prasadam after that. And it's a wonderful service opportunity for anyone who would like to invite devotees. On this Saturday, we had one devotee who was not able to do because of some situation. But yeah, if you like to help by any means, let us know. So any comments or questions, devotees? I have some reflection here. Venkat Prabhu is saying, thanks for your wonderful class and arranging Das Avatar singing. May I know the reason why only these incarnations chosen to be in Das Avatar song? Prabhu, among the various incarnations, these are the 10 most prominent incarnation of Krishna. And they are not just chosen by us, they are chosen by Srila Sukdev Goswami, by our previous acharyas, and by Vyasadev, who actually wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, to show the importance. All incarnations of the Lord are glorious, you know, the Shaktavesha avatar, the empowered incarnations, and all the Leela avatars. But among all these various incarnations, these 10 are emphasized. And I suppose the other reason is because these incarnations have such wonderful pastimes, we are able to read about Lord Ram, Pashuram, Nrsingadev, and really meditate on those pastimes and perfect our lives. So these are prominent incarnations, Venkat Prabhu. I hope that answers your question. Very uplifting and purifying class, Hema Mataji. Oh, thank you so much for your encouragement always, Hema Mataji. I know you recite Dasavatar Stotram very often. We have a message from Sumadhura. Hare Krishna, thank you very much for a blissful class. All glories to your kind service. Such important points taken. So very beautiful. Thank you kindly. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. You're indeed blessed to speak with such enthusiasm. Well, Mataji, I suppose if you want to give me any credit, the credit belongs to my spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada, and all of you actually who are dedicating your life to Srila Prabhupada and his mission so beautifully that I feel very encouraged. I just hope that one day, whatever seemingly little enthusiasm you see in me, it is a lot of mode of passion right now, but I hope it turns into mode of goodness gradually, and then one day into the form of pure devotional service. So please pray for me. I'm a beginner on the other side, just trying to do what I can at my level. Thank you, Bhagavati Mataji. Yes, Prabhu.
Dandavad Pranam. Thank you for a wonderful class. Just to a little highlight to what you said there. Of course, Krishna's avatars are infinite. These 10, the Acharyas and Shukadev Goswami chooses primarily also because these Leelas glorify the devotees behind the Leelas. That is one of the prominent reasons why those Leelas are chosen.
Thank you, Shalish Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution. Wonderful. Any other reflections or comments, devotees? Thank you, Indira Mataji, for your message. Yeah, let's dedicate our life to Srimad Bhagavatam. Somebody was trying to say something. Okay. Well, there's lots happening this week. As I said, we are also going to have a guest speaker this Saturday, a very dear friend of mine, Raghavendra Prabhu. And I'm also requesting my wife to give one class. I've been requesting for a while. She's much more advanced than I am, so I'm hoping that she will also accept my request, and I'm hoping she would give us her association on Tuesday next week. And like this, we really want to encourage devotees, to take up the spirit. So yeah, there's lots happening in Saturday's monthly Sankirtan festival, and I'm hoping by next week or in a week or two we'll have a little presentation for all of you and how you can get involved in spreading this transcendental vibration of Srimad Bhagavatam. But for now, please come over on Tuesday, and we'll hear from we'll go and hear from the people to see what they think about the idea of having Bhagavatam in the home actually. And we'll see how, what happens on door to door. We have tried a couple of years ago before pandemic. We've had some success around, I believe 3 or 4 sets or about that much were distributed on door to door. And out of which many were South Indian family because, they have this spontaneous attraction towards scriptures and especially Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are praying and hoping that we are also able to meet some people, of those lines actually. Okay, so I think, yeah, now we're just 8:46. Yes, Kokila Mataji, I'll try to share the slides on the group. Thank you so much. And like to thank all of you this evening and hope to have your association soon. Please keep the transcendental vibration going. Vanchakalpataruvasya kripa sindhu bevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for wonderful class. Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Wonderful
Hare
class.
Krishna.
Really been blessed. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Thank you.